catastrophes in our recent times. One of them was last week where the driest place, the deserts in the US actually had a flood, which is a 1,000-year event. So we are experiencing 1,000-year events now.
California's Death Valley, a record rainfall, more than 6 months worth of rain, falling in just hours. The water coming fast, trapping cars and stranding nearly 1,000 people. The flood sweeping through the valley, catching many by surprise.
This conspicuous architecture is hard to miss. Overthrown by a black border of aluminium shell with an eye-catching sight of a cascading pockets of garden punching through the facade. On the side of the architecture, a glimpse of an outstanding yellow highlight of the emergency staircase adds more distinctive character to the building design. With such a bold and dramatic facade on the exterior, I'm certain the view from the interior will be staggering. My name is Isaac, and I am from Design Team. Today's episode, we will be bringing you in a tour of the Penn Center. The design brief for this building that was done through competition was to promote architectural excellence, reinterpretation of all the values that we have, especially with the soul of the architecture, not just about interpreting cultural nuances, but rather things like environment. So environmental sustainability was something that was ingrained into the brief. So that's where we are now, in such a lovely, naturally ventilated space. The design approach for the Penn Center was built on the act of crafting the space between. The Penn Center sits on a narrow sloping street with an existing 4-story structure limiting the possibility for green space at the ground level. With these constraints, the architect designed the building from the inside out, creating slopes of spaces inspired by 2 key urban design patterns: the space between buildings and connectivity. The core of the building is formed by the step atrium that brings courtyard,
and we cannot say that whether we can afford, we reduce it. We have to think about whether we can afford not to have a building. Let's say, for example, the temperature rise, right? Go to warming, right? We need to stop it before it goes to 2 degrees C, right? Because as it goes to 2 degrees C, this is setting up to say bad things to happen. Okay? We cannot afford to let this happen.
Sustainability is not just about preserving greens, but a commitment to enable an environment where greenery is simply about living. Do you agree?
And today we are here in Film Best 2 Kansas City to show you this 2-story corner industrial room.
Let's try go out the shit. To the location, the network, and
It seems I have underestimated you. There's indeed no mistake.
Without any further ado, let's get started. First up then, we have a helmet from the company Rogue. This is a new one for us. We're always excited to get new things. It is always nice when something fresh arrives. So this is the Rogue Chase. It is available in 4 different colourways, either the green you can see here, a black, a matte black, or a white if you prefer those options. And it's available at £225 as of the making of this video. And that's one of the big selling points about this helmet. The affordability is impressive. The other thing that's really nice about this helmet is how simple and pared back it looks. There are no real accents or details across it. It's as neutral a design as you can get. Most features, and those features are immediately obvious from the outside. They also do it in a variety of different colourways. I think it's 8 as of the making of this video, but I'm sure we'll get some new ones in the future. In case you're wondering, this colourway is called Basalt Grey. And when it normally catch my eye, this is actually quite a nice change. The first thing that stands out to me with this helmet is how low profile it is actually. It retains quite a slim shell. And I'll be thanks largely to the 5-layer fiberglass composite shell they use with these helmets. They also do it in 3 different shell sizes. So the external of the helmet more closely matches the internal size. It just means that you can get away with a slightly slimmer looking helmet whilst retaining all of that strength and flexibility. Compared to the rest of the helmets you'll see on the table, and they're all mediums with the exception of the Rogue, this is visibly the smallest looking. The other thing that's immediately obvious with this helmet is that it is the lightest of the helmets I'll show you on this table, possibly joint lightest with the Bi-City, which I'll get onto in a few moments. The other thing you'll see from the outside are the vents. You have a closable one at your forehead that tracks down the centre of the helmet, and you can see the exit actually around your neckline. And you have non-closable vents on your chin. The fact that they're non-closable, not much of a problem to be honest, because they are located on the sides of the helmet, not directly on the front, so it won't be too bad in cold temperatures. Also, to help with airflow, you have got an optional chin curtain on the bottom. You can put that on if you want to. It's included in the box, and that will help in the cold months. You'll also notice whilst we're there, it uses the double D-ring closure system, and these sheet pads are removable. And when I say removable, I mean very easily removable. They actually have a quick release mechanism or system. They have these little red tabs down there, which for the emergency services, if God forbid you actually do have a crash in this helmet, they might need to get this off you without disrupting or jarring your neck. They can do that. Internally, they use a double D-ring closure system for your neckline. It has a removable liner that is very spongy actually, quite well padded in actual fact, and you've got a chin curtain there as well to aid with airflow. If you want to cut that down, it is removable if you want to take that out. You do have vents on this. They are non-closable on your chin, and you'll notice some passageways at the side there on the chin as well. And you have a Venturi vent, I believe they call it, back there to allow airflow out the other side. They're using the good biofoam at the front on the inside, which is spongy just in case.
The ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake is unexpected, a little confusing, and very, very meta. If you've just watched the credits roll and are still reeling from the revelations and changes, then you're not on your own. And if you find you don't know what on Gaia is going on, then you're in exactly the right place. We're here to explain the unanswered questions presented in the finale, as best we can anyway. Did we mention that it's confusing? The biggest unanswered question were both passed out after the fight. They were then taken by Professor Hojo and experimented on as part of a project known as Genova Reunion, which was an attempt to restore the alien creature that was used to create Sephiroth. That's the gross thing that you saw in the Shein HQ. Zack eventually managed to escape Hojo and dragged to Sabine, Mako, Poison Cloud with him. He travelled to Midgar with hopes of building a new life, but was stopped by a group of Shinra soldiers who brutally executed him. Barely conscious, Cloud took Zack's weapon, the Buster Sword, from his body and completed the journey to Midgar alone. In the finale of Final Fantasy VII Remake, we see that Zack survives his fight with the Shinra guards. Much of his appearance here is actually a shot-for-shot remake. That crossing is further hinted at when Aerith and Zack pass the same location in their respective timelines, as they appear to sense each other. Throughout Final Fantasy VII Remake, the party frequently encounters hooded spectres that are eventually revealed to be the Whispers. Red 13 describes them as arbiters of fate, and explains that their sole purpose is to ensure that destiny plays out according to plan. As they are directly responsible for ensuring certain situations play out, such as when they restore Barrett after he's killed by Sephiroth, and the flash forward shown by them depict key events from later in the original story, it's clear that the Whispers are there to keep the events of the previous game's timeline on track. A fate that will, eventually, see Sephiroth defeated. Where things become more complicated is in Chapter 18, where Sephiroth invites the party to fight destiny. Considering fate has so far doomed the planet to being drained by Shein, it can be difficult to understand exactly what he wants. By the end of the game, it's established that he is a Shinra war hero who wants to destroy the planet, but his motivations are very unclear. Why are we fighting this dude? Simply put, it's because Sephiroth wants to become a god, and part of his plan to achieve that involves finding and exploiting the Promised Land, a legendary place that is supposedly once home to Aerith's ancestors, the Ancients. For a little more spoiler-heavy context, Sephiroth intends to generate godly power by absorbing the life stream, a spiritual force within the planet that effectively works as the world's white blood cells. Sephiroth plans to create an extinction-level event by causing a meteor to collide with the planet, as seen in one of the flash-forwards provided by the Whispers. By standing at the impact point, he can absorb the life stream and become all-powerful. Sephiroth believes the Promised Land is the ideal point for all of this to happen. Where Remake further complicates things is by revealing that Sephiroth apparently knows that his plans for godhood are doomed to fail. How he knows this is unrevealed, but considering the levels of the meta-known journey will continue, this suggests that what lies ahead will be unknown to even those who know the original story inside and out. With the destruction of the Arbiter of Fate, anything could happen next. Provided Sephiroth still plans to become a god using the same scheme, it's likely that the journey will take us onwards to the Temple of the Ancients, where he'll obtain the materia vital to his pursuit. Chances are, though, that the events will play out in different ways to what we remember, especially with the revelation that there are multiple realities. Will these intersect in the sequel, and how will Zack become involved? Only time will tell. For more Final Fantasy VII, why not check out these other videos?